Hi everyone, I'm making an art journal page today and I'm using my sketchbook. It's good enough for what I'm planning for this page. I've already picked my focal image. It's going to be this lovely stamp from Stamperia, and I'm going to my page is already gessoed, and I'm going to stamp my focal image and build the page around this stamp. I'm using Momento Tuxedo Black, and let's see, I hope I will have a nice print. I really wanted to print well and accurate. If not, I'll try another thing. I'm not removing the stamp from the acetate. I'm just keeping it as is. I think it's good enough like this. So let's see. Now you don't have to have a stamp like that. You can always go into magazines and just cut out some eyes and play with it. So I'm putting some pressure, and I really want it to print well. If not, I will stamp it on tissue paper or white layer of paper napkin to get a more fine print. The print is not nice because now I see I've got brush strokes from the gesso, so I'm going to leave this be. I'll stamp it on tissue paper and I'll cover this with paint, so but at least I know the place where I'm going to put my focal image, and I'm still going to build my page around it. So I'm moving this stamp aside, and what prompted me to make this page is, I don't know, I was kind of frustrated with work and all kinds of other things, nothing major, and I just felt like my head is filled with all kind of stuff that won't let go, and that's what I came up with for this page. A nice outlet for all the busy things I've got on my mind. So I've picked several stamps that I want to stamp around, and again I'm not sure how well it will be because I've got some kind of very subtle texture from the gesso, but this is just a scribbly stamp. I could write instead, but that's enough for me, so I'm going to use this, and I'm going to change to all kinds of stamps. Now I've got some clock here. Basically I'm going to stamp all around my page all these things that, well, in some way mean something to me. And it doesn't have to be I don't know how to explain it. Like, I've got this swirly stamp, and for me this is one of the things that I think always on my mind. I was as long as I remember myself, I was joking that I have butterflies and birds and all kinds of stuff in my mind instead of what other people have. So it just goes with the territory, the swirly thing. And of course some butterfly. I'm trying to create some movement with the stamping. All of this is going to be covered. Well, I'm going to try and put some paint. I'm going to use probably, as you can see here, I've got gelatos and all kinds of other stuff that are like gelatos. So that's what I'm aiming for right now, is just putting down all the details that I want in my background, and afterwards I'll seal it and then start working with the paint. So I've got all kinds of stamps here. I need to move it. Okay. So you get the drift of where this is going. I'm going to continue stamping around, seal it, and then I'll come back. I'm back. So I finished stamping and I covered this area with gesso, and it's a little bit gray and not white because it reacted with the ink that wasn't dry completely. And I just sealed everything now with just a clear spray. This is from a cheap store. It's cheaper than using fixative. And now I want to put the stamp that I've talked about, and I've just stamped it on the one of the white layers from a paper napkin, and I'm going to take this part out of the paper napkin with a paintbrush and water, and just go around and with the water, so I won't have straight edges, and it will help blend into the background. I want to glue this first to my page, and only then, when it's dry, I want to go and start adding paint to my page. So I'm going to take white glue with a paintbrush. It's better to use a very soft flat brush, and don't make puddles of glue. I'm trying to spread it evenly around. And placing this very gently, and I'm going to start going over it from the center out, and using the flat of the brush so it will slide and not drag. That's what's great with the white layer, white ply of a paper napkin. It almost becomes totally transparent when glued and dried. From the center outside, smoothing it out. Not that I care about the wrinkle, I just don't want air bubbles underneath. Yeah, I think everything is now in place. Let's see. Yeah. So I'm going to wait for this to dry and then we'll move on to the coloring. I'll be back. I'm back. So I want to add a lot of color to this page, and I'm going to use gelatos and several other stuff that I have from the cheap store and react the same way. And you don't have to use gelatos, you can use the chalk pastels with baby wipe. I'm going to use the gelatos with the baby wipe. You can use colored pencils, aquarelle pencils, anything that will react with water, even acrylic paint with a baby wipe can do the same trick. Just have fun with it. So I'm just putting down color and I'm starting very lightly. I'm not that of an expert with the gelatos, so I'm going to start with this and we'll see where it takes us. I'm taking a baby wipe and I'm just folding it a little bit so I will have more control, and just smearing it and moving with the motion of the stamps that I've put. And as you can see, it spreads even to more areas than I've put it down, so I'm just keeping with it like this. And I want to add color like so, and I'm going to move like this, and again blending it and smearing, going inside a little bit here and more of this. I wanted when I thought about making this page, I wanted light blues and maybe gray, and so I'm just playing around right now, and I think the light purple or lilac it seems to work for me right now. So let's see, a little bit darker here, and again I'm switching. Let's see, I've got this gray, but I don't know how effective it will be here, but let's try it. If not, I'll just go over it with another color. Again, I'm just moving the baby wipe because I want the colors to blend on my page, but and not on my baby wipe and make a mess. So it seems like if I go too much with the baby wipe, it wipes it out of the page, so I need to be careful and not put pressure on it. Now I'm more careful with this darker color because, as you've seen, it really dominates. so I need to be careful. I'm not careful with the lighter colors because once I apply the baby white they fade. I'm only careful with the darker colors. I'm getting inside the image here to make it more with the background. So I'm just adding where I think it needs a little bit more color, but basically that's what I was planning for my page, and I think it needs just a little bit more here, and I'm thinking of adding, let's see, maybe this purple will be better. It looks more pink than purple, so the gelato one, so I'm going to add from this one and hope for the best. And I think I'll just take a fresh baby wipe before I'm making a mess. A little bit better, but I'm going to add from this purple. Sometimes it smears too good and it removes the color, the paint, instead of smearing it. So, work in progress. Yeah, this purple is just better. Less pink in it. Yeah. So I'm going to seal this before I continue. I don't want any of the colors to move around. So I'm going to seal it, let it dry, and I think I need something more to this page, not sure what yet. I'll be back. I'm back. So took the page out of the notebook, the sketchbook, and I want to ink around the edges. I think it needs it, and there's enough detail here and a lot of going on. Well, that's a fine representation of overloading my mind. So I'm going to at least try and contain it to this page. I'm going inside a little bit, not only on the edges. I want to darken to make a nice frame and also to make it appear more dimensional. I'm using a makeup sponge with the Momento Tuxedo Black ink pad. I always going in on the corners even more. I think it frames the page nicely. And just going over where I've inked while it's still a little bit responsive, and like trying to blend it, and so I won't have a harsh line. Don't know why it doesn't take here, so I'm just going over again. And here it is. And for the final piece, I had some words that I wanted to put here, which now I can't find. Here it is on my mind, and I'm just going to put some where is it, some glue stick on the back. I just wrote it on one of my painty papers, and it's on printer paper, so it doesn't need much. Here we go. Here is the painty paper that I wrote on, and I thought first to write always on my mind, but well, just a little bit too cheesy for me, so I am satisfied with on my mind. And this is it. That's my page with all this crazy stuff that's going on, and I hope you liked it, and I hope you will have a play with something like that. And thank you for watching, and thank you for leaving me comments below. I'll be seeing you in my next video. Bye for now.